All right, what's good? Trade recap for today, Monday, August 18th. Let's head on over to TradingView. Pretty good day today. This trade I did not take, but we will go over it. Took one trade today, was a dub. Yeah, let's get right into it. So starting off in the morning when price opened, I was pretty bearish overall. But my targets in the morning were this hourly gap right here. These London highs, these equal highs on the 5-minute, this unfilled hourly gap, and then also this Asian high as well if we wanted to go higher. And if we wanted to go lower, well, it was just this previous day low, which was right here. So those are my targets on both sides of the rock. What do we do? Market opened. Market opened, instantly ripped all the way the fuck up. What do we go into? Well, we came into this hourly fair value gap. Okay, barely. And then what do we do from the hourly fair value gap? Well, we tapped it, and then as we trended higher, we had this, and here, let's go right here. We had this 1-minute inversion right here that I did call out in the Discord, right? The leg that sweep past, or that came into our key level, it had a inversion. And that's tend to what we, look for when we're trading. However, it was kind of rejecting it, and yes, had these equal highs up here. So I wanted to see these equal highs either get reswept on ES, or NASDAQ comes up and sweeps these highs out, increase in SMT to further build our conviction to go lower, right? Because our target is these previous day lows down here. But we ended up inversing this gap. I do not enter, which you could have entered off the inversion. Stops at the highs, you would have got a better entry than what I would have got, and then your take profit all the way down here to these previous day lows. So that's what your trade would have looked like. Let's see what price ended up doing. It ended up shitting the bed. Your break-even point, or my break-even point, would have been this low right here. Price ended up shitting the bed. Well, what did we create? We created a 5-minute bullish gap, and we ended up running through that. So as we ran through it, I went ahead and entered on here. I was a couple candles late. Yeah, so the 5-minute closure happened right here, and I set a limit order at the inversion, which ended up tapping me in right here at 23,779.75. So that was my entry on my trading view, and then on my top step, I got a 802 or 782 entry. So my entry point was right here. So just a little bit better, maybe about 3 or 4 points better on my top step accounts. But anyways, my original stop loss was right here above this 940 candle. And then as price trended up, I put it to the swing high. So I was kind of going in for a little bit more risk than I typically do, because typically my stop losses are anywhere from 15 to 35 points, so call it max. And this was 37.5, but if I put it right here, it would have been 30. So I ended up moving it to the swing highs. I still had a 1.07 RR trade. Well, actually, I ended up getting stopped out right there, but the trade idea was a 1.21. So that being said, let's see how this played out on the 1-minute. Break-even point is going to be these equal lows right here. We ended up dancing the stop loss. Then we shit the bed. I'm now break-even. And this is where it got kind of funny, because we ended up retracing and then chopping around a little bit, and then we came down and edged the fuck out of these previous day lows. We did not take them out. We were about a tick away. So on my top step, somehow I got the order filled. The order filled on my top step, and I literally bottom ticked it on my top step. Clear bottom tick, beautiful. And on my evals here, let me get out of this replay stage so you guys can see my executions. It didn't take it out, and I was like, well, I'm already up 800 and something bucks on my evals. It's over a 1-to-1 anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and exit. And I went ahead and exited, and it was a W exit. Typically, I won't do that. However, let's be real. I got lucky this time, right? Because I didn't know it was going to retrace. It could have just came back up here and then continue down towards my actual take profit. But this was a W exit. I was fine with the RR, and I was fine with how much money I got from it. So I got filled on my top step account, but I did not get filled on my trading view for whatever the fuck reason. Maybe I had it lower. whatever the reason may be. But we ended up trending higher and higher and higher. And what do? Well, we ended up opening up a 4-hour fair value gap from, where was it? Oh my God, there's too many lines going on. Hold on. There's too many lines. Let me delete this hourly. Oh, that's why. Because this shit is the same fucking... So we ended up opening up this 4-hour fair value gap. And we ended up leaving those previous day lows there. Along with... Give me 1 second. Along with relatively equal lows. And then one other trade you guys could have took on this is when we were retracing right here, I believe it was. Let me go on my top step because it's easier to show. When we retraced, there was a nice 30-second that you guys could have took. Here was a 30-second. So if you guys wanted to enter off that and you guys didn't get the 5-minute inversion, you could have waited for the retrace up. And then there was a 30-second entry with all this LRL right here, right? We had more LRL right here and then previous day lows at the very bottom. So you guys could have entered off this 30-second as well. Again, I don't have the 30-second on TradingView, so that is why I didn't show you guys on here. But yeah, as price left those relatively equal lows, we ended up inversing this 5-minute on the way up. Not my favorite trade to take towards this unfilled 4-hour, just because I would maybe want to see this 5-minute get disrespected, then in a 5-minute bullish open up, we tap into the bullish as a condition and then continue higher towards this 4-hour. But overall, my draw was still lower on the day, so I didn't like this. However, we got a 10 a.m. open high, right? So 10 a.m. opens right here. What do? We opened high into this 4-hour gap, even though it took about 25 minutes. And then what do we do coming out of this gap? Well, we ended up inversing this 4-minute. Okay, we tap into this gap. We create a 4-minute bearish for value gap. We invert the 4-minute. If you guys want, both of these trades were took live in the Discord, so you guys can join the Discord tomorrow, whatever. Free link is in the bio. But my partner set a limit order at the 4-minute inversion. He ended up getting tapped in. Give me 1 second. He ended up getting tapped in right here with this candle, the 1032 candle. Right, so we have a 4-hour bearish fair value gap tap. We have a 4-minute inversion, instant reaction out of the 4-hour. We also got a resweep of these 15-minute highs. Not only did we tap into a 4-hour, but we also tapped into this 15-minute over here. And then we were also inside of this hourly as well. So not only did we take out these hourly highs again, but we also retested this hourly for value gap. So we had a plethora of fucking of bearish like PD arrays that essentially we were respecting. And then we disrespected the 4-minute bullish PD array. I would have felt more comfortable if it was a 5-minute. However, this was a great trade as well. Price kind of chopped around a little bit. Break-even point was this 5-minute internal low right here. What do we end up doing? Well, we end up hitting a break-even point. We're now at break-even, and then we end up taking out previous day lows. So those were the, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the 4 trades you guys could have took today. So there's plenty of opportunity today, even inside of this fucking general range of what? Of like 90 points. There was a few opportunities, right? We had this 1-minute inversion, we had this 5-minute inversion, we had this 30-second inversion, right? Targeting these previously lows, and then to go back down towards the lows, we had this 4-minute inversion with the IFVG tap of the fair value gap. So those were the 4 trades today. I took the 5-minute inversion. It was a dub. All these trades were called out in the Discord. Like I said, go check that out. Beginner's Blueprint dropping at 3 and a prop firm video dropping at 6 o'clock today. So hope you guys enjoy. I will catch y'all boys back at 9:20 in the morning tomorrow with a daily bias.